Okay, we're at the house of my first cousin, Iram. This is Joel and Iram Gaddis. You guys, oh, and this is little Forrest. He's 5 months old. You guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I'm Joel Gaddis. I'm a paramedic. I work in Scott County, and converted to Islam around about 10 years ago.
And my name is Iram Gaddis, and I work in the lab at Baptist Hospital. I work as a med tech, and I've always been Muslim.
So, Joe, where did you grow up?
I work where I grew up, Scott County. I was raised in a Southern Baptist home. Had a typical middle class Southern upbringing.
And what brought you to Islam?
Like I said, maybe about 10 years ago. I just come out of drug rehab, and I was re-examining a lot of things in my life, and I was re-examining faith, and took a look at Islam, and I bought a copy of the Quran, and read through the English translation, and it really spoke to me. It was as though it were addressing me personally in a lot of instances, and I found nothing I could object to, and a lot that I already said it moved me, and I hadn't heard anything like that or read anything like that before, so it was essentially I read the Quran and I agreed, and I became Muslim after that.
Now, since you're a paramedic, are there specific passages that apply to medicine that you think about that influence your thinking? Or
yeah, in the you'll find a deep running vein of medicine in the religion itself, and in the culture, Islamic culture. But actually, I'm gonna quote some of the Quran here. It's from a passage dealing with the story of Cain and Abel. I'm sure the Christian audience will be aware of that, but it's not necessarily relevant. But anyway, verse 33 in the fifth chapter, we prescribed for the children of Israel that whoever killed a person, unless it be for killing or for creating disorder in the land, it shall be as if he had killed all mankind. And whoso gave life to one, it shall be as if he had given life to all mankind. And that, it's a reference to Jewish wisdom, actually. I think it's through the Talmud, but it's confirmed in the Quran, and that informed my decision as to my profession, and that verse still sticks with me throughout my long 72-hour shifts. It helps me get through, and it gives me a reason to keep going in a lot of cases, and a drive. I don't get to save everybody, but I'm trying.
So, in terms of issues related to men and women, we talked in this class about how men tend to be more dominant in this culture, and Iram, I'm sure you have some stuff to say about that. How do you feel about, there's kind of a stereotype that the men are just very dominant and authoritative, and I'm sure there is some of that.
I mean, if you look at culturally, you might see some of that, but Islam itself does not really give that dominance to men. Women have lots of rights, and I've seen all my women at the mosque, and any Muslim friends I have, I don't see a problem with any kind of dominance in their home. They either have equal opportunity, or sometimes they kind of run the household. So, what do you think?
Well, it's a common saying: if mom ain't happy, nobody's happy. So, that goes across cultures. But Islam, there's a lot of passages in the Quran that chide the men, for treating women poorly, and women have to be given their rights, and
right.
you know,
They
they are the
hold
equals of
land,
men,
yeah.
you know, given rights and inheritance, which in you know was unheard of in most cultures before that. So, you know, I think any perception of women being subjugated is, I guess, you know, more of a cultural issue, and you know, I wouldn't deny that that happens. But as far as the religion itself, it really combats that, and you know, I think a lot of my mother, and she, you know, she raised me to be a gentleman, so. And you know, it didn't really have to put a chokehold on me, but you know,
So
it does help.
do you guys attend mosque on a regular basis, or try to?
We try to. We try to get together for the meetings. We only have one meeting a month.
Where is the closest mosque?
The closest one for us is actually in Kenner, Louisiana. So okay. That's why they only have a meeting a month. But we do have a family here that we do practice Friday prayers with, usually every other Friday. So, I mean, we practice what we can.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your story with us. Any final thoughts you want to say about the religion and?
Well, if you ever need to talk to a Muslim, or if you know, our door is open for discussion if anybody would like to have more questions or anything like that.
I think you probably find, you know, that as far as the principles of the religion, you'll find, you know, that Islam has more in common than you would think with you know, the Judeo-Christian tradition, and with, you know, a lot of others besides.
What did your family think of your converting to Islam, Joe?
You know, my father had a little bit of apprehension at first. My mother's been pretty accepting of it from the start, but generally, you know, since I've gotten married, and you know, everybody loves Iram, and so, you know, it's really there are no qualms, honestly.
I guess you could say we're just a normal family.
Yeah.
Just the average Joe.
I can vouch for that.
Make a few concessions for things, you know, but, you know.
All right, guys. Well, I will leave you alone now. Thanks for sharing your story with me, and hope to see you guys in the future if we have questions. Thanks.
Anytime.
All right, thanks.